Good evening, sir.
Good evening. I'm audible? कोई
Yes,
issue
sir.
नहीं?
No.
Okay. Shall we start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, Dikshita, tell me something about yourself.
Sir, my name is Dikshita Joshi, and I belong to Nainital district in Uttarakhand. I have graduated in mechanical engineering from College of Technology, Pantanagar, and thereafter I have pursued masters in energy systems from IIT Mandi, Himachal Pradesh, and this is my third attempt.
Okay, Dikshita.
Yes.
So, what differences you have observed between the two hill states, Himachal and Uttarakhand?
Sir, some
Differences and similarities as well.
yes, sir. The similarities are that both the states face similar ecological challenges, and both states are the major source of income for both the states is tourism. And the differences that I've observed are that Himachal Pradesh is doing better than Uttarakhand in a lot of indicators, especially in human development with respect to education sector and health indicators, and also in women employment. It is doing better than Uttarakhand. And with respect to export preparedness, Uttarakhand is doing better than Himachal Pradesh. So these are some differences that I've observed.
Okay. As far as waste management is concerned, have you observed any differences between Himachal and Uttarakhand?
Sir, Himachal Pradesh ranks higher than Uttarakhand in waste management. And sir, this is what I know of waste
So
management.
what could be the reasons, according to you, which has helped Himachal to perform better than this?
Sir, in the district that I was in, there I observed that they have very good waste collection and waste disposal facilities. In our institute only, we had a compressed biogas plant for the disposal of wet waste. So I think there the disposal area is where the Himachal Pradesh is doing better than Uttarakhand, I think.
Okay. So if you have made the DM of Joshimath, then how would you approach the problem which are being faced by Joshimath district?
So the problems that the Joshimath is facing is because of both natural and anthropogenic reasons. And for the natural reasons, the construction that is being done there, that has to be restricted. And various committees had also recommended that. And for now also, we are seeing that a lot of houses that have been built there are unauthorized and they are not paying any taxes. So one is that to restrict the construction to the recommendations that have been given by the committees. And second would be the proper drainage system, which is not there. The Pakka drainage system that was also recommended by various committees was not built. And the water was seeping down the soils. And that was also a major cause of that. And so third, I would say that the tourism pressure that is there on the Joshimath area because of the Badrinath shrine, I think that also needs to be controlled, and by limiting the number of footfall that is arriving in the area. So I think these are some of the measures. And also, sir, the agriculture on slopes, that needs to be reduced, and the deforestation rate that has to be curbed down. So these are some of the measures that I would suggest.
Okay. So what if you are asked to formulate a plan for sustainable tourism for a hill state, for say for Uttarakhand only, then how would you formulate that plan?
So first of all, I think we need to limit the amount of tourists that are coming. For example, the Bhutan also places a certain amount of quota for arrival of tourists per day quota that is there. I think we can use that by registering the tourists that are coming in. We can register them online and allow until a certain quota only. Second, we can charge for compensating for the economic loss that will happen by reducing the footfall. We can impose a sustainable development fee. on the tourist over and above the user charges that they're paying. And third will be the waste management because of tourism that is there, that I would say has to be managed more efficiently. And so these are some of the measures that I think are important.
Okay. So, but by limiting the number of tourists, you would be also impacting the tourism industry and many people who are dependent on this industry for their livelihoods. So, how would you basically tackle that?
Sir, that can be tackled. That is why I was recommending the sustainable development fee, so that the any revenue loss that is happening by limiting the number of tourists, we can compensate it by increasing the amount of development fee, sustainable development fee that has to be imposed on the tourists, and that can be charged from the tourists only. So I think that is the measure.
Okay. What are the problems being faced by a common person in Nainital? You are a resident of Nainital, right?
Sir, Haldwani, but yes,
Haldwani,
it
yes.
comes in Nainital
Okay.
district.
Okay. So tell me about that. What are the problems or issues faced by a common person?
So one is because of the migration, the population of Haldwani is increasing very rapidly. So a lot of pressure is coming on the resources. Especially we face a lot of water scarcity in the summers. So one is that. Second is the traffic problem that is arising because we don't have a ring road, and there are long hauls of traffic in the city. Second is that. Third is the stormwater drainage system in Haldwani is a bit lacking, and during monsoons, the city is flooded with water. So third is that, sir. And also the waste disposal is a problem in Haldwani. There are huge garbage dumps in the outskirts of the town, and the disposal is not being done properly. So these are
So
some.
basically, during monsoon, you have excess water, and during dry season, you have water deficiency.
Yes, sir.
Okay. How you can tackle that?
So we can create rainwater harvesting mechanisms within the residential households also. And second, the recharging of the bore wells can be done during the rainy season only. And so these are some of the measures that I think. And also we can reduce the amount of water that is lost by imposing a water tax or a water fee. And I think that is also needed beyond a certain amount.
Okay. The thing with these, basically, you are saying about water fee, then tourism facilitation fee. It's about that not all the persons or not all the tourists who are coming can pay this.
Yes,
How would
most
you
definitely.
categorize that?
Sir, I think we can categorize it by examining the profile of the tourist that is coming in. For instance, the elite tourist would also avail high-class hotels or resorts, and so I think that way we can classify the elite tourists and increase the fees for them, and reduce for the income-wise, reduce for those who are falling on the lower income bracket. So that we can do, sir.
Okay. So after doing, basically, you have done masters.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So after doing masters, why you want to join civil services?
Sir, both of my parents are in public services. So I always wanted to be in public services. I wanted to join public services. And civil services provides a very diverse platform to work. And in my research time also, I have taught. So if given an opportunity, I would really want to work for the education sector and the women empowerment. And that is why civil services. And it was always the plan.
But if you want to teach, then you can go for PhD and join IIT Mandi or any other IIT or NIT.
Sir, teaching also is a very novel profession, and it also provides a lot of opportunities. but I think that scope there is very limited. I can only create impact on the lives of the students that I'm teaching, and I won't be able to provision for the infrastructure or other facilities. If I want to change that, then I think I would need to have more responsibility and more power.
You did your master's before giving attempt, right?
Yes, sir.
So why master's? If you had made up your mind after graduation, then you should have given the attempt after graduation.
Sir, civil services is a very unpredictable and uncertain exam.
That's true. That's true. But you are not giving the attempt along with the master's. You completed your master's, then give the attempt, right?
Yes, sir. Sir, I wanted to prepare with a full preparation. I wanted to give the attempts. So that is why I was not giving with
Then
the
why
master.
master? Question remains, why master's?
So masters was because, like I said, that it is uncertain. I wanted to have a backup plan and to
What's the
follow
backup plan?
upon. So I would go in research and academia if this does not work out.
Okay, so basically research and academia would be losing a talented person like you if you go into civil services.
Sir, the skills that I've attained during my masters, I think they will be utilized in civil services also. So I don't think it will be a loss.
Okay, last question from my side. What according to you is the role of a civil servant?
So civil servants are basically responsible for implementing the public policies that the government frames. So they are the first point of delivery of services at grassroots level, and their role is important in the development of the area. So this is the major role of civil servant.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Dikshita. Now, Vaibhav sir would be asking further questions.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Dikshita.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. So, in your explanation why you want to come to civil services, I saw a little contradiction. At one point, you are saying that you are always, it was very clear to you that you want to come to civil services.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But still you pursued, you kept going in other direction. You have wasted around 6 years of your time. And you could have been a civil servant by this time or earlier when you completed MTech, then only you would have been into civil services if you were very clear about it.
Yes.
Okay. First point. Second point is you want to work in a very narrow field. And what if you get some services which does not have any public exposure, like IRS Customs or IRS IT, Indian Postal Service, Indian Corporate Law Service? Then would you not go for these services?
Sir, I said that I wanted to work for the education sector, and if given an opportunity. However, like I said that I wanted to join public services since the beginning, and so any service that is allotted to me would be an opportunity to join the public services and to work for the society. So
these words are fine. Isn't working for teaching is more contributing to the society than working in Indian Corporate Law Service?
So both are very different professions, and we can't say that teaching is more novel than the Indian Corporate Law Service. I think both provide opportunity to work for various in the various areas, and in different ways we can contribute to the society. So I think any service would be good for me and would provide an opportunity to work for the government and the society.
Teaching was a profession which can give you opportunity, but you are not going towards that profession. You are coming to give public exposure and affect many lives, and that won't be possible in Indian Corporate Law Service. What will you do then?
Sir, in Indian Corporate Law Service also, I think via policy making also we can create impact on lives of many, and the policies also have multiplier effects. So
I think you have got the point, what I am trying to make,
yes.
that your basic reasoning is in some services not fulfilled. Okay, tell me any 3 problematic areas that you observe in this year's union budget.
So this year's union budget, okay. So one is that the expenditure on education and health has not been increased as was advised or recommended by various policies. And second is the expenditure on minorities have been cut down by around 39%. Second is that. And so the third would be
That is okay.
I can think of only two.
That is okay. How budget has been cut down on minorities by 39%? It's a huge number.
Yes, sir.
So which all schemes are given less importance in this budget?
So the expenditure on the madrasa education that is there, that has been reduced, and the Jan Vikas Karyakram, the expenditure for that scheme has been reduced, and the national fellowship that is given for higher education, that has also been cut down, and the Ustad and the Manzil scheme that were there, that they have also been slashed down. So
second scheme you spoke about is Jan Vikas scheme.
Yes, sir.
Jan Vikas, right?
Yes, sir.
What does it do?
Sir, it is for the development in the in various sectors in the minority concentration areas, and so this is what this scheme is.
And what is Ustad for?
Sir, Ustad is for for training of the traditional artisans and their upgradation of the traditional artisans and their upskilling.
Okay. So why this government is targeting minorities?
Sir, I think this is the part of overall rationalization of its expenditure on transfers and subsidies, and which has also been reduced on food and fertilizer. And for example, the Ustad scheme that I think that has been brought down, or the aim of that scheme was to upskill, and that has been accommodated under the Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, that is the 4.0 version of it. That also focuses on upskilling. And so I think the rationale was this, to cut down the expenditure on transfers and move it towards the investment, the capital investment that has been increased.
Okay. Okay. So why it has been said that that minorities budget has been cut down? Is it opposition's claim just to politicize this issue of subsidy rationalization?
Yes, sir. I would say that it is that the targeting of only this the expenditure on minorities is being highlighted to gain for political gains, while the overall expenditure on subsidies has been reduced. That is not being paid as much attention as the minorities area. So
this is a good move, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Subsidy rationalization is a good move. So Dikshita, tell me one thing. Suppose you are you are into police services. You are the chief security in charge of PM security. Okay. So you during his visit, you have carefully planned his route map, but suddenly he wants to visit through some another route. Okay. He has certain liking for certain areas. He wants to move through them. And you have a good intel that this will not be secure. there can be attack and there can be security threats. Okay. How would you convince, but PM is adamant and you would appreciate the amount of the pressure that you have given PM wants to go through another route, right? Now, how would you pursue PM? And if he disagrees, what options will you follow to keep him secure?
So one is that I would direct the subordinates or the state security team to work for the or look towards the security of the other route that the PM wants to go to. And meanwhile, I'll try to convince him and persuade him by telling that the security of that his security is of paramount importance, and in very limited time, it will be difficult for the state security police personnel to ramp up the security of that area, the route that he wants to go to. And so, sir, I would try to convince him by telling him that. And if at all he is adamant on going through that route, then I would request him to either delay his visit by some time, so that we have time to ramp up the security of that area and ensure that the route is cleared up. And so, sir, this is what I would do.
Okay. You can approach the influence group also.
Yes,
By
sir.
if he is not agreeing to your advice, you know whose advice he might agree.
Yes, sir.
Right. You can reach to them. They
Yes,
might
sir.
be more open to you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Then you can also give written, some things in written, intelligence reports in written form. Anything spoken verbal is taken lightly. It can be considered as opinion. Anything written over file or in a written form is considered a report. So it is considered with more gravity. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
But ultimately, PM is PM. He wants to go, he will go. Recently in Haldwani, eviction proceedings have been into news. Okay. I am into railways. Okay. I know that if it is railways land, it has the right to get it evicted. Now, if they are saying that you give notice time period 2 months, 3 months, definitely there will be legal battles and railway will not be able to get its land back. First of all, people have done wrong. They have illegally encroached. So railway has the right to remove them from their land. It is railway's courtesy that they have been there for a long time and lived a good life. But now it's railway's land. So it is within the rights. Okay. Now, how would you disagree with my point?
Sir, the residents that are staying there are actually paying house taxes, and they have legitimate property papers with them. So I don't think we can say that they are illegally staying in those lands. And you're right that the land belongs to the railways, and it is also important for the expansion of the railway route. If it has to be done there, then we would need that land. So I think the Supreme Court's direction that they should be rehabilitated and compensated for eviction.
No,
That
I agree.
can
I
needs
agree
to be.
with what Supreme Court has to say. But as for the sake of argument, I just want you to clarify. They are paying taxes. They are not paying taxes to railways, right? They are paying taxes to state government. There can be n number of agents that can ultimately come in between. But it is railway who is the owner. They have the right to evict anyone who is there in the land.
But the rehabilitation is also the responsibility of government only, because the government has also been at fault that the land was illegally encroached, and in fact the property papers have been created for those lands and they have been paying taxes. So that is also a responsibility of government only. So
Okay. So do you think any in near 30, 40, 50 years will that land be cleared of encroachment? Do you think so?
So if rehabilitation is done, then and compensation is paid, for example, for DMRC also,
Why would compensation be paid? Many of the people, suppose 10% of the people are having valid documentary proofs. Okay, they should be compensated. But 90% will not be having that proof. And it generally happens, right? Okay. So why they should be compensated?
Yes, sir. The government also highlighted that a lot of people are staying illegally also there, and the Supreme Court also said that those who are staying illegally, they should be evicted, and but those who have legal property papers there, they need to be rehabilitated and compensated, sir.
Okay. One interesting dimension that I see in your DAF is administered college team or off-road vehicle manufacturing competition. What is this competition all about?
Sir, it is a all-terrain vehicle manufacturing competition at national level. It is called BAHA, and it is conducted by Society of Automotive Engineers, and it takes place annually. And the final, the endurance race of this vehicle, it takes place in Indore. So,
Okay.
yes,
Baha.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So what was your performance or your team's performance?
Sir, we were ranked 124 out of 350 teams. Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is the issue with the country now. That the people who are good in technology are leaving the field of technology and want to become generalist. They want to do public resource management. Okay. And the non-techs are jumping in the field of technology. They want to become tech gurus and this kind of thing. That is where innovation is hurting. Don't you think so?
Sir, I don't think so, because a lot of students from my batch only who are in these core fields, they are now working in the core fields only and the automotive companies only. So the innovation is going there also. So
But ultimately, they will do MBA from some college and ultimately they will be absorbed in management, a generalist job, right?
Yes, sir.
So it is whole economy is driving the passion, not the passion driving the economy.
Yes, sir.
Do you agree?
Some places it is true, but for some people they continue in their field only, and they economically also they do very well in their field only. So
Right.
yes,
Okay.
sir.
Last question, Dikshita, before I hand over to next member. What makes you happy?
Sir, I like food, so eating makes me happy, and also traveling. That also makes me
Very
happy.
good, very honest answer that I have got. Good.
Thank you,
Over
sir.
to Akshay, sir.
Good evening, Dikshita. How are you?
Good evening, sir. I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
So I'm also good. So compared to the when we started this interview, how confident do you feel now? More, less, or equal to when we started?
Sir, a little more, I would say.
Okay, so you think that it is going really well and you've impressed the other panelists.
I don't know, sir, if I'm impressed, but I am feeling calm in myself. So that is why.
You're feeling eased out. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You said that you want to join the services, and I just want to know that what is the special USP that you will be bringing on the table if you are allowed to join the civil services based on your background? How is mechanical engineering going to help you?
Sir, in mechanical engineering, we learn a lot about balancing the effectiveness and the efficiency of a system. We always are working on optimizing both of them. So I think in civil services also, with limited resources, the effectiveness and efficiency management that we applied or analyzed in mechanical engineering, it will also help me in civil services with the limited resources that will be with me. So that way, I think in decision making, it will help.
Okay. And your motivation has been to help the people in some way or the other, right?
Yes, sir.
So do you think that E. Sridharan has done a great service to the nation?
Yes, sir. I would say that by.
So have you ever tried for engineering services?
No, sir.
I think my voice is getting break or the video is getting broken.
So yes, you're lagging.
Okay. Yeah, but am I audible to you?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah. So I want to know that when E. Sridharan can do national service through pursuing of engineering stream, then why have you not tried for engineering services?
Sir, the engineering services restricts the scope or the area in which we can work, and civil services provides a very diverse areas to work for. For example, if I have to work in education sector, can work in education sector. If I have to work for women empowerment, I can work for that. If I have to work for pets and waste management, I can work for that. So that is why, sir.
Okay, I could counter you by what Vaibhav sir said earlier, but then we'll move forward. Since you are an engineer and I hope some analytical skills from you, I want to know that generally we see that hilly states in India or all across the world, hilly countries also, they have good human development index. Would you agree with me on that? Relatively, especially.
Yes, sir. But Uttarakhand is lagging in certain human development index, and so we cannot generalize, but yes, mostly they do well.
What is Uttarakhand's rank in HDI, the rating between the states?
Sir, I'm aware of the Uttarakhand's ranking in school education index and the health index. In both these index, it is ranked at 14th and 15th position respectively in the country.
So, but we can fairly say that if we compare the states rank in the GDP growth rate and the GDP as a whole, they do better in HDI.
Yes, sir.
So can you just tell me two reasons why this happens?
Sir, one reason is that the lifestyle in hilly areas is more difficult compared to the lifestyle in plains. And so the physical activeness of people in hilly areas, that is at par, at highest level. Second is because in hilly areas, the resources, the availability of resources is limited. So they have to manage with the resources that are the natural resources that are available around them. So they're dependent on the food also that we consume is more nature based, and it is derived. For example, the madwa or the jhingora that we are eating is very natural, and it is not there is no chemical or processing involved in that. So that is, I think, two major reasons that they are hardworking, and the diet that they consume is very.
What factors are included in calculation of HDI?
So one is the literacy levels, and second, the standard of living, and third is the life expectancy.
Okay. You have also studied sociology in your preparation, I see.
Yes, sir.
So I want you to give me two suggestions. One would be for short term and the other would be for long term. How to alleviate the caste problem in India?
Sir, the long-term solution for this problem that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had also propounded, that intercaste marriages are one way to solve the issue. And the short-term measure would be, I think, the upliftment of economic upliftment of the lower caste, so that at least they can rise in the secular hierarchy. And in that way, there will be lesser, because now class is becoming more important than caste. So if we economically uplift those in the lower castes, then the differences would dilute. So I think these two measures can be taken.
But don't you think women should have the autonomy to marry whoever they want to? And by saying that intercaste marriages should be the case, then you are not giving them the freedom to marry within their caste.
Sir, we should not coerce, but we can incentivize. A lot of states have done that also, to incentivize intercaste marriages.
How?
So, for example, we can give financial incentives, or we can provide them, or we can give them recognition for those who undertake intercaste marriages. We can make them as role models, and so that way we can address the taboo that is associated with intercaste marriages, and so that.
Are you joining the civil service to become a role model?
No, sir. But
and do you think if the career choice is not made on role models, do you think the life partner's choice would be made based on becoming a role model?
Sir, but it will be effective in changing the mindsets of the people, and especially the youngsters, because they won't fall into the trap or the mindset of caste discrimination. So that is why I'm saying.
So Dikshita, whose way is more logical to you? Gandhian way of alleviating caste or Ambedkar way?
Sir, if we have to create impact in short-term time, then I think the B.R. Ambedkar's way is more practical. But for longer term, I think Gandhiji's measures of changing heart are more effective and sustainable.
But initially you said in the long term, you said we should do intercaste marriages with, and this is an Ambedkar way, right?
Yes, sir. Sir, but Gandhiji also.
Now let's. Okay, yeah, go on.
So Gandhiji also said that change of heart should be there, and for intercaste marriages, change of heart is important. So I think that is where they both converge. Yes.
Understood. Now you have fairly done well in your engineering stream. So I have a very small question. Let's suppose we are sitting in a very small room and there's a refrigerator inside that room. And the refrigerator is set at 2 degrees centigrade and we have kept the door open. And we've locked the room. So what would be the impact on the temperature of that room? Increase, decrease, or remain same?
Sir, it will remain same. It will not decrease, because the refrigerator is meant for certain load capacity. And by increasing by opening the refrigerator's door, we are increasing the load capacity, which it is not meant for. So the temperature will remain same, and we are not increasing the supply of work, so it will not be able to hold that load capacity.
Have we been able to design a system where we are utilizing the energy to the 100%, or we've never been able to do that?
No, sir, it has not been possible, and it is only used as the Carnot cycle is only used as a standard. So yes.
So when the refrigeration is working, don't you think it only cools down the area inside the refrigerator, and outside the heat is getting generated? Because some energy is getting wasted. So don't you think the overall impact would be increasing the temperature?
Yes, sir.
Maybe that is why we keep our window ACs outside, no? Otherwise, we would have kept them inside.
Yes, sir. I'll look into this, sir.
There is one thing that I'm intrigued by in your DAF. What is sound thermo-acoustic refrigeration?
So this was a project that I did in my master's, wherein we achieved a cooling effect using a loudspeaker. We had a tube which is a resonator, a steel tube, and at one end we placed a loudspeaker, and we generated waves in the resonating frequency, standing waves inside the tube, to achieve a net compression and a net expansion. So, and we placed a stack, and the spacing between the stack plates was very narrow, so that the gas or the air which is inside that gets compressed, and as it gets compressed, its temperature increases, and it
Adiabatic cooling, you were trying.
releases heat to the surrounding. Yes, sir. And when it expands, it takes heat from the outside.
Okay, this is a new concept. Now moving to another of your hobby. You like watching women-centric films.
Yes, sir.
What is wrong with the films which are not women-centric, and why only women-centric films?
Sir, I don't have anything against. I watch other films also, but I like women-centric films more because I think they help me also understand a lot of decisions that I'm taking, or the actions that I'm taking, how they are set up or made within the patriarchy, or by the norms that are set by the society. So I think it makes me more self-aware of my own decisions. That is why I like watching women-centric.
Give me one example.
So, for example, the Thappad movie by Mr. Anubhav Sinha, that shows that this married woman, she takes the decision of divorcing her husband for slapping her, and the society around her was telling her, no, it's okay, and it's just one slap, and itna marriage mein itna chalta hai. And she takes this step. But in that movie, one thing that I paid very carefully attention to was that her father was very supportive of her. He never discouraged her of taking this decision. Her mother was, in fact, telling her that no, ye chal jayega. But her father was supporting her. And around me, I have oftentimes accused a lot of women of taking this suppressing by their husbands and blaming them that you're not taking a stand for yourself and you're not this. So from that movie, I understood that because her father was very supportive, so she found that courage to take that decision. And had her father not been that supportive, I don't think, or maybe she would have reconsidered her decision. So that is how I understood. That movie made me understand this very basic thing.
Okay. And do you think it is logical and advisable to show women or depict women as following some social evils in these movies? Is it fine, or should we censor it?
Sir, I'm not what social evils. I'm not getting the context.
Like they are shown like smoking or drinking, or sometimes women are shown like doing smoking or drinking, or maybe just having a lifestyle which is not generally accepted to the society. Yeah.
Sir, if it is done consciously to show that a liberated woman is one who drinks and smokes, then I think it is wrong. But if it comes in the movie very naturally, then I don't think there is a problem with that. But if we are labeling it that these are modern women and they smoke and drink and that's why they are modern, then it is wrong.
So let's suppose it is labeling. So should we censor it?
No, sir, censoring would be harsh, I would say. But the filmmakers themselves should be conscious of this labeling.
Okay, so we should not do anything about it. Let it be.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are there any gender specific women friendly roles according to you, jobs?
So gender specific means that are suited only for women, is what you're asking?
Yeah, some jobs, like some employment prospects which are well suited for women.
Sir, in current times, I think it is the job roles and the gender influence on job roles is blurring, I think. But if we go by traditional means and if we see the convention, then the caring sector is where the
No,
women
I'm
are.
just interested in your views, not traditional, not modern.
Okay. So no, sir, I don't think there is any job that is specifically designed for women only. I think every person can do good in every kind of roles, provided that he is equipped, skilled for that, and has a passion.
Tell me the name of 3 famous and civil servants, women civil servants who are doing good in their domain.
Sir, one is Mrs. Kiran Bedi, the IPS officer, former IPS officer, and second is the DC of Kerala. I'm not aware of the district's name she's posted in, and she's working for the environment management and sustainable development there. And the other would be that I can think of two only. The third one's name I'm not able to recollect. She's posted in Assam, and she worked for the malnutrition
Dr.
there.
Lakshmi Priya.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
And her project was proved very successful in uplifting the malnutrition rate there.
Tell me the name of 3 famous women mechanical engineers.
Sorry, sir, I'll have to look that. I'm not aware.
So you had the chance of breaking this taboo or the stereotype or the glass ceiling, but you're not doing it.
Yes, sir. I'll have to look into that.
Don't you think you could have become one? We already have many in civil services. You also know of them.
Yes, sir. Sir, I would have, and the skills that I've gained in mechanical engineering, these experiences that I've gained in mechanical engineering, I think will be help me create my own niche in civil services also. So if not in with my background in mechanical engineering also, I can become a role model of sort of that.
Okay. Thank you, Dikshita. That is all regarding your interview. The interview is over. Now we'll
Okay,
ask you
sir.
to wait in the waiting room for some time. We'll discuss your performance and then we'll call you back.
Okay, thank you, sir.